Okay, so episode 6 is in the books. Not a bad episode, not a terribly good episode. Some nice things in there that I'd like to have a look at. In case you haven't seen this, stop watching, of course. If you have seen it, lend me your ear for a little bit. Okay, so first thing I need to point out again, I think the show really, it's the women taking over, I still think that Joel Edgerton is, not really a good pick. Basically everyone else is really good. How is he the actor for the main character? It's still a mystery to me, But I don't want to hate on the guy, right? I mean, he's not a terrible actor, but he's not intriguing, I think, not in this role anyway. But I don't want to hate too much, right? I wanna look at the positive things about the show. Again, like I said, it's the women for me, and where I first didn't really like Amanda much, she really developed into a very likable character, right? You kind of feel bad for her, right? She probably misses her version, although that guy isn't somebody you would want to miss, right? But I mean, love, it works in mysterious ways, right? I think that's the only reason she sticks with him too, right? Is to maybe find him back. But I think that's also the problem, right? Because if they travel together, the door is always gonna be listening to maybe both of them, right? So maybe the universe is based on 90% off of what the guy opening the door is, and Amanda behind him is, responsible for the other 10% or something like that, right? And that's why they never really get it right. There's a little bit of both of them. Also, still doesn't make sense to me that there's multiple doors, right? If it's the mind that decides what's behind the door, what's the point of these endless doors? Because they all would have the same effect. Don't want to go into that again too much, but it still kind of bothers me. But again, let's look at the good things. And then we have to get back to Jennifer Connelly, right? She again is like the highlight, at least for this episode, the highlight, when she really feels disgraced. How he just abruptly entered her, private zone, right? How she carefully gets back into painting, and then without telling her, he just, shows it to the world, right? Well, she's not ready for it. And yeah, I mean, it's great how she acted, right? And this guy is just such a right? And the way he leaves Ryan behind, right? It was kind of obvious, right? But what a right? I mean, even if it's a world that he would like, how can you be happy there knowing you left all these people behind without saying anything, right? You're just gonna worry the rest of your life over what these people might think. Kind of obvious, right? When he brought him there, that he was like, "Give me a phone," and then it's like, yeah, it's really obvious. I think they, that didn't really. You saw it coming a mile away, and it didn't really land. I think, right? That's a shame. Maybe if the character was more developed, right? Maybe they also would be a better effect. I think that character itself, it's a nice character. There were a lot of options. There were a lot of places you could go with him, right? He seems like a little bit of a broken person as well, right? So it's too bad that's not explored a little bit more. Maybe that's coming up in future seasons. I certainly hope so. One thing that was kind of like funny in a way, but also really uncool, was that moment when Jason and Amanda ended up in bed, right? And at one point they go like, how does that work, right? Because Jason is desperately trying to get back to his world because he loves his wife so much, right? He loves Daniela, he needs to get back to her, and then they go out one night and they have like a nice little dinner, right? A cool song obviously, right? Raspberry Parade, who doesn't like the song? But yeah, so you have one nice dinner, and sure you went through a lot, but you have one nice dinner and you end up lying in bed with each other. I mean, did she crawl in later? Because he's like, I think you should take the other bed, instead of him like getting up and taking another bed, right? He kind of like, you should get out of the bed, not me. And then at that point, I was like, hey, is this maybe a third Jason, right? That they're introducing. Unfortunately, that was not that would have made much more sense than our Jason, right? But it wasn't. So a little bit of a scene felt a little bit out of place, it didn't make too much sense, to be honest. Not bad though, but it just kind of felt like out of place and uncalled for, basically, right? Yeah, I think that's basically the gist of it, right? Like I said before, guys, the show it's pretty good. It's not excellent, but it's pretty good, very entertaining. And I'm looking forward to how it goes, right? And you know, draw it for a few seasons if you must. Just keep it good. Just hold on to Jennifer Connelly. Don't kill her off again, right? And if you do, make sure you bring a boatload more of her. And a small note, you know, sorry, I just like her that much. How did you like her look, right? I mean, she looks great anyway, right? But now with this blonde hair, with the dark eyes, that was a really great look for her too. Anyway, guys, like I said before the show, I like it. I hope I'm gonna keep liking it. And I'm looking forward to the next episode. And I know there's not many of you, but for those who did watch this, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again for my next little review. Alright guys, thanks.
Subscribe quietly or there will be trouble.